It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. In case you haven't already, make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. Also, if you are watching us right now on our YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you'll never miss out on a live and in living color episode of Dishin Days. I almost said Days of Our Lives, but we're Dishin Days. Also, if you are listening to us on your favorite podcast station, we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So make sure you search for Dishin Days and take us along on that walk on the treadmill, or when you're hiking up to the highest mountain, or when you're simply grocery shopping for that can of SpaghettiOs that are on sale for $4 $1. Also, make sure you go and buy our merch. Specific. We got merch, everybody. DishinDays.threadless.com has all of your favorites like the Meliswin logo, Possess, our Dishin Days logo. And if you're wanting to serve a full dish, you can on a t-shirt, sweatshirt, towel, mug, or wherever else is available. Make sure you go to DishinDays.threadless.com and get your merch today. And also make sure you go visit JLJ, our former co-host on YouTube. JLJ Media will serve up the rest of the soap block. He is giving you a bold breakdown of Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and General Hospital. They are on hiatus for a little week, but make sure you just go subscribe and show some love to him. And that is our church announcement. Look at that. We got through our first little new thing that we got for the show. Look at that.
Finally, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. First of all, I almost went back to, like, regular. I thought they started names with Justin getting a real book.
Listen, the fake one's better than anything I could find. So.
Yeah. They take no time getting the shade out. Come on.
No time. Listen, welcome to Shady Sundays. I almost reverted back to like going back and doing our regular, but I had to adjust. Anyway, well, what did we think of this week's episodes of Days?
It's good.
Was it speechless? Because y'all didn't say nothing.
I mean, we've been off for a while. When we say the last week, we're going to be covering the last week, but since we've been gone.
Since we've been gone, lots have happened. And
I gotta say, I'm really been impressed, honestly, with the pacing of the show. I've been impressed with like the interactions we've been getting. We've been getting a lot of family stuff, and of course, considering the storylines we've gotten this past week and a few previous, like we're getting a lot of really like cast integration. That's something we always talk about. We like seeing and like seeing different people interact with each other, or when people acknowledge their relationships and you actually see that. So I've actually been definitely been impressed this week.
I mean, I felt like it was like okay this week.
I thought Friday, there was a build up to Friday, and Friday's episode was very like soapy.
Yeah.
We had like the emotional stuff, and then we had like the tense interactions, and then we had a little bit of a romance with Johnny and Chanel on that episode. So I thought Friday was the standout for me.
Yeah, it was a culmination of all of these different storylines just all coming undone, as the case may be, not ending, but just like everybody knows everything.
Yeah. A lot came out this week. Some voluntarily, others not so much.
Right. All right. Well, let's break it on down. I feel like this is the part we should have had recorded.
I was gonna say this is what we
It is now time to start
Dishin
Days. Well, in 2023, nothing has changed.
Sometimes you don't want something to change.
Yeah,
it's our shtick,
The struggle of us trying to in syncly say Dishin Days will still be the highlight of someone's day. All right, so let's start with the death of Marlena. I am not going to read it as Michael Mattis wrote it. That
We
would
should
be
be
for him.
highlighting them. We should be putting them on the screen.
What? Oh, I know, right? So here's the interesting thing. Like, my mom texted me, and she was like, "I know they not about to kill off Kate, Kayla, and Marlena." I said, "Child, I don't know."
Yeah.
But with Marlena was obviously the last to pass, and I feel like I have the same feelings that I felt when Meliswin happened, when that storyline happened.
Okay.
Where they were killing off so many like star people that I was like, I have no idea what's going on. And so I'm racking my brain as to like, well, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Like, are these characters actually gone? And y'all, listen, if you have spoilers, just don't say nothing. Like, we're in this moment right now.
Surprisingly, I'm on Twitter all the time, and usually things get like thrown out there all the time. In this case, I have not seen anything about them staying dead, coming back, whatever the case may be. I haven't seen anything. So I think maybe they've actually managed to keep it under wraps. Because I'm the presumption with the way the show has been for the past couple of years, it's like, oh, they're not going to die. No one dies anymore. Everyone comes back. But I think I read an article from Soap Opera Digest. It's probably Soap Opera Digest. That's the only soap opera magazine now. With Ron, and he mentioned something about, we had to make this different from, we had to make it kind of. So I think someone might stay dead. Who will? Who knows? Or they may all come back. We don't know. I'm just surprised that it's not out there yet.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I just assume they're all coming back, honestly, to kill off the 3 quote unquote main women of the show. Seems a little much to me. And maybe, again, like you, Tony, if this was 10, 15 years ago, I would probably believe it more. Now I'm also, the fact that it was, like I said, those 3 women kind of leads me to believe we may have something different, like you're saying, Michael Mattis. I just don't know if that means all 3 women are actually dead. It could be something where maybe a couple of them, 2 of them, 3 of them are off canvas for a while. And that's how we just explain going in a different direction or looking at other storylines or highlighting other characters maybe. But I don't know if all 3 of those women or characters they would kill them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is, look, Peacock is getting their investment on this show and more with the way these storylines are going, because everyone is tuning in now because you have killed off 3 legacy characters. And as of right now, guys, they're dead. They're all dead. Okay. As of right now, they're dead. That happened. It wasn't a dream.
As doornails. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are some stuff on other subs I could say, oh, let's please let's do an Ewing family thing and make it all like the last year was a dream. But that's not going to happen with this one. This has happened.
Yeah.
And so I think that's it's part of the allure is that you have killed legacy characters, one of which who is celebrating, what is it? She's coming up on 5,000 episodes.
5,000. Yeah.
Yes.
That seems low, but yeah, you're right.
Deidre Hall is coming up on 5,000 episodes. And we still have journeys left to go. So the way I look at it is that we as an audience are kind of where their family members are, in a sense. That that initial shock period afterwards where people have died, you're just in a kind of a little bit of a state of shock, and you're kind of like, is this real? Is this happening? Kind of a place. And it feels like we are meant to be the family members. We are meant to be them and go on this journey with them and kind of like, what is going to happen now?
I mean, first of all, my mother says hello.
Hi, Mom.
She also says, well, I think it's crazy killing all 3 women. I love the fact that my mom has started off 2023 just being the 5th member of Dishin Days. But it was someone mentioned in the comments that, you know, Kate and Kayla's deaths were rushed and Marlena was the one that took like the longest. I feel like I don't know, because like with each death, really the only one that caused a lot of stuff outside of them passing was Kayla. And then Kate just went. You know, Kayla just went. And then with Marlena, there was just this very beautiful, like, moment where like she was just like, "Take me home, I can't." And then they went up on the roof. Which kudos to Days for incorporating a beautiful virtual set that really looked very realistic, and the fact that they had this beautiful send off of Marlena with the different photos and it was interesting to look at the photos and just remember that time. Sometimes I was like, oh, she was captured then. Or, you know, oh, that wedding happened. Oh, that's what happened with this wedding. And, you know, they kept saying just like what a journey that they've had. So I thought it was I thought it was a beautiful moment. Someone just mentioned that they totally shortchanged Stella. I feel like though with that, like with Kayla's passing, it was just so unexpected. But then they had the whole Alex Stephanie stuff center around Kayla's death. You know, so I feel like, you know, everyone couldn't have a beautiful send off, but I think with John and Marlena, if she had just died.
See, that's
y'all would be upset.
Protests, yeah.
See, funny though, that's what makes me think they're not dead though, is that there would have been more fanfare for these women who've been on the show for decades. And if you were really going to kill them, usually when people on the show have a death like that, there's usually a send-off for them in some
we don't know.
Abigail didn't have no send-off.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. We can't make assumptions.
Will didn't have no send-off.
Yeah, we can't make assumptions about anything at this point. I don't think.
You can't compare those characters, not to Kayla and Kate and Lauren Koslow and Mary Beth. I mean,
but look, at the very minimum, we know we are going to see these women again in their heavenly form. We know that from previews. So we get them a little while longer. So whatever send-off, look, send-off is not necessarily the death. Send-offs could be funerals, periods of mourning. It's not limited to just the moment of death. And, you know, I know people were really upset that Kate and Kayla, this death all happened like boom, boom. But I think they needed to happen that way. And I think it drove home the point that not everybody gets that, you know, everybody's saying, oh, they deserve it. But we all deserve. I'm sorry, we all deserve that beautiful moment where like you get to die in the arms of one you love. That's not always the case. And they needed to drive that point home that all 3 of these women deserved to live. But this had to be driven home that this was going to happen very quickly. So to the point that no one was going to be able to intervene. Yeah. Not even with Marlena.
Sure.
I thought you were going to say something.
I don't know.
It's just my opinion.
I'm just interested in seeing how this goes and where it's going, because it's not necessarily like over. Yes, Kate is in an urn, a beautiful, like, you know, very much like I can see the urn as a Kate outfit, if that makes sense.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like I could see like this like purple, like kind of almost flannel-y, like silver jacket and pants. And I was just like, why does the urn look like a Kate outfit? Like,
Can I ask you guys? Okay, I was a little bit confused on this, and it may have just been the way the dialogue was written or the way Josh Ho said it. She's actually in the urn, or was he saying this is the urn I'm putting her in?
No,
I was a little
she's
confused.
in it.
So she's already been cremated. I was a little confused about that. Okay.
No, because he wasn't talking to an urn. He was having a conversation with.
Oh. Well, they said.
So
Brian
we're
said
assuming
Kate
she's already in there.
That's why I was confused when it seemed like he was saying this is the urn that she's going to be cremated and put in the, like, that's why I was confused. But if you're saying it was her, then yeah. Cool.
Oh no, I'm just sitting back and just wondering how is this about to go down?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I will say I'm glad that most, dealing with just Marlena's death this week, most everybody got to, if not say goodbye, say their piece.
Except Sammy.
To Marlena, you mean?
Except Sammy. That's circumstances beyond our control, though.
She's busy.
Yeah.
she hallmarking.
She sent a text, I'm sure.
Not a text.
I wonder.
Sorry about it.
I wonder if Allison Sweeney does return. I mean, this is like Hurricane Sammy. I just can see her. How dare you guys not tell me about my mother?
Because that would have happened. They just would have been like, yeah, Sammy doesn't need to know.
Yeah,
we don't need her back here.
I think the premise is
we don't need that right now.
But it's
and Carrie.
It's Carrie. Yeah, I mean they're all It would have been a lot to bring everybody back from the other side of the world at this point, which is where they are. And that's how. And if anything, that should give us hope that something might happen, some good might come of this, because when the actors die, then everybody comes home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aside from this, we've got some other stuff that has come with Marlena and with Johnny and Chanel.
Yeah, how do we feel about that?
I'm team Johnny and Chanel again. After Friday, I'm like, yep, I liked them together once. I was curious how the thing with Chanel and Allie would go. I'm kind of bored with it now, and I want Johnny and Chanel back together.
I'm not a fan of this storyline coming back up again, even though I think that they do have chemistry. Johnny and Chanel definitely have chemistry. I'm just like, I thought we sort of put this to bed and we were sending these characters in different directions, and now
they were, but we've mentioned before, there's been moments where there's been a twinge of something between them, or there's a look when one of them's leaving, and it's like, okay, there's still something going on. There's been still a little something going on between the two of them this whole time. And I'm after everything that's gone down, I'm like, I think Johnny and Chanel, but I would want them to go through the struggles and make it interesting in some other way, and then have Allie maybe go another route, because I feel like they don't know what to do with Allie now. Like Allie's just been kind of pushed to the back in a way. And so I would like to see them explore something substantial with her, because she really, like, other than her relationship storyline, Allie, she's with Henry and that's it.
I think the thing is, for me, it's the back and forth and like how things come out of nowhere. Like they've been perfectly content with like their lives so far, and then to suddenly have this moment on Friday, it was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to like see them to, like I think it would have been one of those things for me if it wasn't so like, I think this is the better way to put it. I don't want Days to put the idea in my head. I want to see something and go, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole, like, oh, I fell, and then the
But even before that, like that's not what did it for me. It was just their whole like interaction even before they went on the roof. Like the whole I was like, oh, that's right. They like are cute together. They're that's what did it for me. Just
that's the thing. That all happened on Friday. But like if
it didn't feel like it all happened. I don't know, the way they did Friday's episode, it didn't feel like, for me, it didn't feel rushed. I feel like they at least to me, it felt like they took their time with it, even though it was only one episode. But
all of a sudden,
it's also, it brings it back. You know, it's not like, you know, like you were saying, it's not the first time they're interacting and you're like, oh, we had that moment with them after Chanel, or how did it go? Was Johnny on the canvas first and then Chanel? Or was Chanel on the canvas? No,
Chanel was on the canvas.
Then Johnny came in, and their first, like early in Carson's time was their first, when they had that drink at the not the pub, the other place, Julie's place. And that was our first. Oh, so we've already been through that, and then they've been apart, and I don't know. I'm for it.
I could take them, or I could leave them. I think they're great as friends. The issue is that ever since Allie and Chanel have been together, Allie's insecurities have led the conversation in terms of why Johnny and Chanel can't be friends. Every time they're in a room together, Allie is immediately triggered. And nothing leads to to a bad relationship more than insecurities. Allie and Chanel are supposed to be on stable ground. They're not as stable as they think they are. Johnny, at least, like in terms of Johnny and Wendy, that is potential. They've not even gone on a first date. So they're not tied to each other. They don't owe each other anything, as much as I would love to see them together. You know, she's very much a realist. And you know, which is why we fell in love with her to begin with. So she's not going to hold anything against anyone.
We'll just let Johnny and Wendy explore before we go back and revisit Johnny and Chanel. Because then what happens to Wendy? She can't go hook up with Allie.
She's got Joey and Trip. She's got two other options.
Joey's in Seattle, and so is Trip.
They're back now.
They're back right now. We have no idea how long they could be here.
Y'all know it's going to be
Wendy will be fine. And it's not that I'm like anti-Wendy or anything, but I just got the feels with Johnny and Chanel, and
I just feel like that Joey and Trip are not an option, but I don't know. We
shall see.
We shall see. But it was great that the family rallied around. You know, we had, you know, Belle and which shout out to Martha Madison, who gave a phenomenal performance this week. And it was great just to see them, you know, comforting John, being there for Marlena, saying a prayer in the church. Even though Eric is going through a lot in the moment, he was still present and there for Marlena. And I love when
and Brady too. Brady's going through a lot.
Oh my God. I was thinking Eric.
I was like, is he
Eric
or actor Eric? Because I mean, in both cases,
you were saying Eric's going through it. I'm like, is he really? Well, okay.
Well, in both cases,
everybody gave a good performance, and I think Brady was the one who said it when somebody asked him, like, that we're all just kind of walking around like zombies right now. We're just like, it's that stage of like, you're amped on like, you need to do something, but there's nothing to do. And so you're just walking around.
And it was the family interaction too. We got Allie and Brady, who we never see together. We got Johnny and Brady, who we barely see together. We got Belle giving a reasonable excuse as to why Claire and Sean weren't there. Like all of that fit together, and it all made sense. It wasn't just, we're just going to ignore why these people aren't here. And the people that were there were great.
I actually really like that they went that way with Claire, because then it really just hits home that it's like, boy, like you think that Marlena is this wonderful mother, but boy, has she been an incredible grandmother. Every single one of her grandkids is just like, they've all been in therapy with her. they've all been through the ringer with her. They've come to, and she's the one that they have come to. I'm sorry, but she's the one that they have come to when they've been in trouble, not their parents.
Yeah.
Claire, Allie, Will, Johnny went through Johnny is the only one who could possibly know. Johnny and Allie are the only ones who know, like, they share that devil connection with their grandmother. Like, how many people can say that? She has been like the number one grandmother for them. So that they said that was how they played it with Claire, I thought was just spot on. That, like, losing this person who who literally saved her life.
Thank you, Patrick, for typing that in. That was that line was hilarious. Couldn't have happened to a nicer bitch.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Oh, Matt, you're in the chapel."
What would have really been funny, because Brady, not Eric, Brady said "bitch" in the chapel, and he kind of looked up and was like, "Sorry." It would have been hysterical because afterwards Belle said it, and it would have been hilarious if someone stopped her and been like, "By the way, after you say that line, go sorry," because like it would have been a cute little, I don't know, brother sister, because they're brothery sistery, and
I like how Eric did not call her on it.
I know nobody called. They were like they weren't like Belle, because it's Kristen. They all hate Kristen, and they were probably all like, "Yeah, glad the bitch is locked up. Praise Jesus," you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Kristen got caught.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about this storyline, right? Is that sometimes I'm just like, which parenting book did you read, Kristen, while you was in jail? Like, to sit there.
I don't think she did.
No, I mean, clearly, because to sit there and tell Rachel, well, Chloe's the reason why Mommy and Daddy are not together.
Gaslighting her own kid. Yeah.
I wanted to be like,
not a good form.
Kristen, like, you're the reason. You are the reason. You are the reason
is you.
But can anyone answer this? We've had 2 people die because of the orchid. So has everyone just given up on finding the orchid?
There's nowhere to go. I think that's the problem is that they have run dry on leads. They're like, there's either some random person took it, which is not likely, but then and then they can count literally on one hand the number of people who knew that Kristen had it.
Right, but
and that's
still,
the issue.
Have you noticed anybody?
Well, I think they
actively
keep
looking for
It's being talked about.
It's being
looked for, but we're not seeing it.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I know who has it.
Oh, I think so too.
We'll write it down.
Yeah.
Oh, I
do you
actually
want to do a guess? Let's just do a guess. With all
no, I actually think I know who has it too, but I don't think I should say who, because, I mean,
I thought about one moment happened.
I think we're all thinking the same person.
I was like, they have the orchid, and it's somebody.
Okay, wait. Okay, we all think so. We have a sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say
We have a private chat. So y'all go to the private chat and type in now who you think is has it.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong.
Wrong private chat.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Araceli. Oh, interesting.
Where did you put it, Michael Mattis? Oh, there you go.
I put it in our text.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Okay, so
I thought we all were thinking the same person. We're not.
I thought we all too.
I think they're gonna make it seem like the one person has it, but it's really gonna be the other. Yeah. And the one person's gonna be like, I don't have the effing orchid. Like, what the F are you doing? Leave me alone. And then eventually they're gonna be like, oh.
I didn't.
And then the other person's gonna be like,
actually, it's interesting.
You know, so
yeah, because the reason I think Michael and I are right is because it goes back to and I think the audience could probably figure it out what we're talking about at this point is that just go back and literally count on your hand
has it.
The number of people who know that Kristen had the orchid, not necessarily where it was hidden, just that Kristen had the orchid.
I think Justin and I are thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. The use of the orchid.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Which is why that person
exactly. Yeah.
would have
Which is also plausible, but
Mhm.
but as Michael pointed out, could also be a bait and switch.
Wait, I don't understand yours, Araceli.
Because the person that Michael and I think it is did know, because this person walked in.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This person knew, maybe not where it was, but knew that this was in existence.
Also, how would your person get it? I mean, get it? I guess I don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know, but
I mean that would have to be explained.
That would have to be that would have to be explained. But I'm just going off of the assumption.
That's interesting. That's funny. I would have never thought you were. Interesting.
And everyone else in the chat, you guys all have very interesting thoughts as well. So thank you for participating in all that. Okay. How do we? Okay. How do we feel about this storyline with Kristen and Brady?
It was about damn time.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the discovery of what Kristen did to Stefan, what Lee and Kristen did to Stefan, to her trying to kidnap Rachel. How?
It's just like to me, it's like, of course she's gonna try to skip town with Rachel. Yeah. Of course she's gonna try this. You know, it was very in character for Kristen, but I'm also happy that like she didn't get away with it. Like, I'm happy that she's hopefully finally going to get some punishment, but the mention of immunity has already come up because she knows something and can roll over on someone else. So this will be immunity number 3 for her, or
it's not equatable. She thinks she's going to get immunity, but it is not equatable at all.
And I found it, I liked how EJ didn't come to her defense and was like, fine, you're going to blackmail me. Finally, someone, and of course it's EJ, who was like, fine, I'll just tell him, you know, I'm taking away your blackmail power, and I'm just going to tell him right here while you're on speakerphone, and just, you know, blurt it out. And EJ probably thinks, oh, I can deal with it. And I really like that, because now this will introduce a new chapter of this story, which we saw after that reveal, where I was going to say Stefan is now looking like he's going to embrace his Demira deviousness, you know, kept looking at Stefano's portrait, and, you know, he's not going to let EJ get away with it. Say what?
Yeah. But
what would Stefano do?
Yeah. But I think that EJ, part of EJ knows that that's coming, and he figures he can prepare for it. And that even if he loses, out to Stefan, it won't be the same as being at Kristen's mercy, because remember EJ had that conversation with Stefano's portrait where he's like, you know, she's just so damn single-minded. You know, she can't see the forest for the trees. She, you know, it was all about Brady, and to hell with everyone else. Whereas EJ, yes, he is power hungry, but he'll die for his kids. You know, before letting what hurts his kids. And that's the difference, is that just like, and I was trying to think, because just Kristen's just such a terrible mother. And I really was trying to go through my mind. I'm like the list of terrible mothers on this show. And like even Sammy, I'm sorry, Sammy was a god awful mother to Will. In those early days, there's no.
Well, she used Will.
Yeah.
In every turn to suit her own agenda.
Yeah.
And lied about it, keeping him from his dad. Like, yeah, we all know.
Yeah, I mean, Sammy and EJ and Lucas are just like, a mess of parents. But I feel like even I feel like there was a line.
Well, I just hate that they're writing Kristen to be that selfish, because remember, she originally couldn't get pregnant. Like, Rachel is basically a miracle child, right? Yeah. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, are you that? And it started back with the custody battle. It's like, are you that selfish? Do you have to win that much that you would jeopardize not having? Because Brady, it's such a yin and yang. Because with Brady, he looks at Rachel, he goes, he tries to sugarcoat things for Rachel, right? And as a parent should. And with Kristen, it's like, what her goals are and what she's trying to do and what she's trying to gain in life comes first, even if that means she has to use Rachel. And I think that's my problem with the storyline, is that it's now becoming such bad parenting that it's like, just be a mother. What you don't realize is that you can have kind of what you want. You can have Rachel and you can have Brady if you just, it's not about having total. It's about, okay, if I'm telling everyone I turned over a new leaf, then here's a new leaf, everyone. Let's share custody. Let me be with my child. Let me be about my child right now. But it's just like, you keep giving someone a chance, and it's just like, she uses everything to her advantage, and it's like, girl, come on, just be a mama at this point.
But that is actually in line with Kristen, and I'll tell you why. Not just because of Kristen's selfishness, but because she perfectly identifies the idea of a woman who is so obsessed with having a child, but not with motherhood. The idea of, like, this is going to be my child. I love this child. This is the child of my blood and my body, and blah, blah, blah. That it's like, no, this child is its own person. It is your job to raise and mold them. They are not meant to be your carbon copy.
I mean, I feel like she knows that. I just feel like, she should know that, but she just doesn't. She
because
doesn't.
she's trying to brainwash this kid. No.
I don't know if it's brainwashing. I think it's just misguiding.
Yeah. I think
because she's not trying to she's not trying to get, she's not, well, maybe it is. Justin.
I think it's gaslighting / brainwashing.
Yeah, I think this is when we dislike her the most, when she's sort of floundering. I think even when she has a clear direction, even if we don't like what she's doing, we at least identify somewhat of like, oh, this is what Kristen does. This is how she operates. But yeah, she really is flying. I think this whole orchid thing has really thrown her for a loop. And to be honest, I think we all know that she's being truthful in saying that she used the orchid to her advantage, but she was never going to really let Marlena, Kate, and Kayla die. I don't think that was ever really going to happen. And, if it came back and she had the orchid, I think she would have turned it over. Of course, she would have never let these women die. But it's sort of because she played around so much with it, it's sort of now out of her hands. And she has no idea who took it. She has no idea what to do. I don't feel like she's really trying that hard either. She's kind of like, oops, I don't have it. Sorry. No.
Yeah, because she's not shedding a tear for them. She's shedding tears for her own safety, for herself.
For herself. Well, listen,
let me say this. The interaction with Steve I thought was interesting because she wasn't fighting back. She was sort of kind of taking her punishment. And we don't usually see Kristen tower from people, not even men. And the fact that, yes, it's Steve. He's a man. He's physically stronger than her. That was a different scene than we've seen with Kristen. It wasn't her standing up to him saying, get out. That was her sort of cowing to him a bit and letting him control that, maybe because she thought she deserved a lot of it.
No, I think she was just scared.
Yeah, I think it was fear. Yeah, I think that it came. I think seeing Steve there with that look in his eye.
But I think she knows it because it was her fault, not because if Steve showed up there and it was a different reason, she wouldn't have behaved that way. She would have attacked him. She would have bashed his head.
She knew the impact or the impact or the depth of what happened, and it was essentially, it is essentially her fault.
And usually she can wiggle her way out of situations by either blackmailing someone or getting one of her siblings to do her bidding. She has managed to take away women who mean something to every single person who could possibly be an ally to her. I'm sorry, even potentially Rolf. Because remember, Rolf was not devoted to the Damaras so wholeheartedly. He was devoted to Stefano.
Mm-hmm.
And who was Stefano obsessed with? Marlena.
Mm-hmm.
That was the number one rule that Stefano always had. No harm shall come to Marlena. And Stefano always got really pissed off when Kristen tried to play God with Marlena's life. And here we are. She's got no more cards to play. She's managed to alienate everyone.
Well, let's just say what it is. Steven shook Kristen because, and I don't, bless her heart, if there was no run when she tried to like close the door, it was just more like, I'm like, girl, he, like 2 steps, he's just going to be to you.
Yeah.
But
that set is also not that big, so
that's true. But
yeah.
I think she really was just shook because this was a man who lost the love of his life because of you, and you did not mean for that to happen.
Yeah,
you know, and now you were going to have to face those consequences. Now, granted, I feel like now, yes, there was hurt there, but to that degree, I think was just to cause that distraction so that he could plant that bug, so that he could get that confession. Also, all these decades, y'all do the same thing. Y'all hide a microphone or camera in somebody's house, record a confession, take it to Salem PD, and what do they always say?
It's inadmissible because they didn't know they were being recorded.
And it was like, how does Steve know? How does Steve not know? Like, he knows that. Like, I
know. That was a disconnect. I guess maybe he was just so blinded by grief that he forgot a part of his job. But yeah, I was like, why did he think he could get away with this? And even they were like, girl, you know we can't use this.
I mean, even I was sitting there like, girl, you like I felt like Elle Woods,
I was like, they can't use it. You can't use it.
And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. Fans, keep track of this, write this down, tweet it to me. Rules of living in Salem. Number 1, if you need a confession, do not hide a hidden recording because you can't use it. You're going to have to come up with another way. Okay? Number 2, if you are going to tell someone something about someone and you look at them and say, I'm going to call insert person here, just know you are either about to be kidnapped, knocked out, or die. So don't just say, you know what? I'm going to drink water and mind my business. You go over to the next thing and go, okay? Y'all write that down because I'm going to keep tabs on how to live in Salem. And those are the top 2 because that happened too. EJ was going to call Brady when he saw Kristen and Rachel. Yeah. Now she just snatched the phone from his hand. So she
tried and he moved it. She blackmailed him. That's how she got him to stop.
Oh, see, that was somebody else.
Yeah,
but that was a rarity. However, my first thought was, Lord, well, I don't know why do y'all tell people what you're about to do?
Yeah. Right.
Like just say, you know what? Peace and blessings unto you, and go to like the next thing and just say what you got to say then. Oh, exactly, Christian. Exactly. I'm going to expose you. Turns around. Lord, exactly. That's exactly how I am. But I don't know the Kristen storyline and just what she did for love. I'm sometimes just like, the shaking my head emoji, just like, oh my God, Kristen, girl, like,
because that's not love.
No.
Well, it's not, and it's obsession. And then when you incorporate Rachel into it too, it's just kind of like, because like, let me tell y'all something. You know someone who has just had enough with it all? Rachel was over it this week. That girl was
Mom,
like,
you said we had to go. Why aren't we going?
yeah, and then
Bitch, you
go
said
to
we
your
were
room.
leaving. Let's go.
She's like, go to your room. Ugh, whatever. Like, she was just like, y'all are a mess.
Somebody's got to tell her mama. Like, I mean, here's the thing. I understand. I totally understand wanting to protect your child from the worst of it. But there has to be a point where you get that girl into therapy with a trained professional and politely tell her, mommy is not safe. Mommy is not a good person. Mommy is not somebody that you should be going anywhere with.
But it's also like, again, it's Brady being a parent and not wanting to portray Kristen for who she really is.
Yeah.
You know
Which
what I mean?
get if she was like 3 or 4, but she's talking, she's walking, she's throwing tantrums.
That don't matter. That let me tell you, being my age, I'm pretty sure there's still stuff that I don't know about my parents, right? Just because, like, you know, sometimes kids don't need to know. I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure the same for y'all.
Oh, totally,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's not. It's not to.
But if your mama if your mama murdered your grandma, I think you want to know that.
Sure, but at the same time, there's not going to be a sit down, you know, of like things that have happened. You know, like parents really do guard kids because it's like you don't want your impression of someone to be imposed on someone that is what's the word I'm looking for?
Impressionable.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Impressionable. You know what I mean? Because you see Brady, and Brady is like, Rachel, mommy did some bad stuff, so she kind of has to go away. Being honest, but not being like. Now, Kristen, you know, Rachel, your daddy, he's not with us because Chloe loves him, but mommy loves him too. But Chloe's done some bad. You know what I mean? It's like, girl, that's not the kind of conversation you should be having with your child.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Anyway, but it's just, I don't know. It's just interesting. Speaking of the bets, what'd you say? Did you say
I was just responding to Christian's comment. I said, hide your kids, hide your wife. Okay. When Rachel becomes a teenager.
That is a Demira kid, yeah.
Because teenager Rachel, I feel like is going to be a combination of Sammy and Kristen.
Lord.
You think that whatever this week was bad, honey? Just wait till she in them teens, where she actually blowing up cars and kidnapping people, and knowing how to hide the body and tell a lie.
Worse, this generation has cell phones.
All right.
Wait till we see her TikToks.
Oh boy.
I'm a savage. Classy. So, okay, question for you guys. Hold on, let me just scroll down just to make sure I'm not jumping too far ahead. Nope, I'm not. I can mention this. Stefan, I want to ask you guys your honest opinion about this in regards to Stefan being brainwashed. Who should he be mad at?
All of them, really.
Everyone.
You should be mad at Leishan for obviously facilitating it. Dr. Rolf. He should be angry with EJ for knowing and not, like, even though EJ didn't facilitate it or know what was happening when it was going on, he still knew it and kept it and used that information to his advantage. And even openly, Stefan mentioned this, openly doubted his mental state, it was just all lies. So, let's see, who else should Stefan be mad at? Like, Kristen, because she, knew about it as Lee was doing it. I feel like I had a moment where I thought Stefan was just going to be like, you know what? Fuck this family. I'm out of here. Because he was like, you know what? Just let me go on an island and live in peace. But he's a Demira. That's not going to happen.
No.
So he has a lot of people he should be mad at.
I'd say for me, it's those 4 people. The people who actually messed with him.
The Kristen and Lee.
Kristen, Lee, Rolf, and lesser extent EJ, but really Kristin, Lee, and Rolf for me. Those three.
Araceli?
I agree. I agree. I think that Stefan is playing this as best he can. Whatever brainwashing feelings he had for Chloe, I think his feelings for Chloe right now are very genuine because time has passed. They have built up a relationship.
They done did it.
Yeah, they did it. So I'm on board with whatever he wants to do.
Here's the thing. I feel like the people that he should be the most upset at are Lee and Kristen and Rolf. Be a little upset, but forgive Johnny, Wendy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
And EJ.
Oh, those two too. Yeah.
Oh, I think he will. I think he knows that. Well, none of them meant really direct harm to him, and I think that makes a difference, especially Johnny and Wendy.
Johnny and Wendy, I feel like they were doing what they were doing to try to help him, and then it got too real, so they're backed
kids.
Off. They still didn't tell him, and they're kids, and their intentions, it was different. Obviously they had nothing to do with it. They found out about it and didn't tell him, but their intentions weren't selfish or like EJ's intentions to use it to his advantage. Know what I mean? So I feel like he has the right to be a little bit upset for not coming forward, but he would understand that they didn't mean malice or harm.
Yeah.
I got the impression he forgave Johnny in that talk they had. Not that he said, I forgive you, but it was like, okay, thanks for telling me. I'm pissed, but I get it, I guess. I felt like that was the end of it. I don't think there's going to be retaliation from him towards Johnny and Wendy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. I think he understood that, what Michael said, that they were in a tough position, and they were the two that none of this was for any selfish reasons on their part.
Yeah.
So now we are into Gabby just being Gabby. Now that
Lord have mercy.
We're talking about this. Let me tell you what I disliked was the blinders that Gabby had.
Yeah.
I have to see Marlena right now.
Yeah.
Marlena's dying.
Yeah.
So it's like
we want to root for Gabby, but not when she's doing that just blatant disrespectful.
Yeah. Like did she think Marlena was the kind of dying where she was like, it's just kind of like
like the kind of dying.
You know what I mean?
We're like Marlena had the flu or something. It was like she's on her deathbed. What are you doing?
Marlena is the I just want to go home kind of dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that was kind of getting to me a little bit because I was just like Gabby, you cannot be this like right now in this situation. Like, girl, calm down. Please calm down. But how do you guys feel about Lee?
Oh, he has lost it. He has really truly lost it.
No, how do you feel about, like, do you feel for him? Do you hate him?
No.
Like, how do you feel about him?
I don't feel for him. I think he, no, I don't feel for him.
I call a spade a spade. He's pathetic. He's as pathetic as Kristen is because he's literally he's exactly like Kristen is now. He is obsessed, trying to get Wendy to fight his battles for him, trying to get anyone and everyone. She's going to talk to me. She's going to talk to me. No, if only I had gotten her to roll for Stefan did. I'm like, dude, what is your problem?
Yeah, I don't feel for him at all. I think if this were a different situation, if he wasn't the mastermind behind all this, I'd maybe feel a little
like if he was a pawn, then maybe.
Yeah.
But since
I don't feel at all. I don't,
And as we discovered, he has Rolf on X right now. So
that pissed me off too.
No.
I was like, this is a chance for you to redeem yourself by maybe getting him to these women or to like work with Stefan here, and you didn't. And I was like, oh, Lee. Like,
yeah.
Did he actually talk to Ralph, or was it
on the phone?
voicemail?
Yeah, he was like, I know you're.
It sounded like it was voicemail, but then he continued the conversation where it was like, oh, he's actually talking to him.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't care if you just got used to.
Yeah, where
was he?
Jakarta.
Somewhere.
No,
Jakarta. I know he just got used to Jakarta, but now he's relocating him.
Yeah.
Guys,
what about you? You feeling for him?
No. There were moments, and maybe it's just
you do have a soft spot for Lee Tony.
Listen, I champion for Lee to be more present on the show.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I just there were moments where I looked at him and you look at him and you go, you're not as evil as. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes
here's what I'm gonna say. Lee is a good person that's doing bad things.
That did something wrong.
Versus did something wrong and is doing bad things. Kristen is a bad person that does bad things. And there's a difference there.
He's teetering.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. He's teetering. And I think that's where any kind of sympathy we have for Lee comes in, where you're like, he got a little carried away and what he did was wrong, but he's not, and even his intentions weren't up and up, it's not a case where we can try to use intentions as a defense, but he hasn't always been like this. We haven't always seen, this is his first iteration versus someone like Kristen, who just continuously does bad stuff. So I think maybe that's where Tony's coming from a little bit.
He's 90s Kristen.
No.
Say again?
He's 90s Kristen. Kristen was not a terrible person.
Oh yeah, when
remember?
Kristen flipped.
Kristen was not a terrible person
for John. She was desperate for John.
And the audience was on her side.
Yeah,
she was a good girl. The audience was on her side, and then slowly but surely it went. Oh no, she's on.
I think the problem is we don't know Lee to be a really good person. Since we've had him on the show more permanently, this has been his storyline. He's been deceiving people and brainwashing and almost murder. Like, Kristen has a history of being a good person on the show for years before she had a mental breakdown. This is what we really know of Lee.
His spurts of like being on the show, presented himself to be someone who's ambitious, goal-oriented, business-minded, like, traditional family, to his culture, whatever. My mom just texted and said, love will make you do crazy. Lee. Love drove Lee. And I think so. I think there was an insecurity of like, I found this amazing woman and I know her heart still belongs to her at the time dead husband. And when everything came about that he was still alive, it was just kind of like, yeah, I can't, how people in Salem are, they just become desperate and do dumb stuff. But looking at him at times is one of those things where it went too far as to what he did to keep Stefan and Gabby apart and to drive Stefan and Chloe together, right? But at the same time, I just don't see him as an evil person. I don't know. I just feel he was wrong for what he did. Yes. Mm-hmm. There were just times where I just felt bad for the guy. And I was just like, you know what? You and Gabby would have been great had she not still had love for Stefan. Had she then not become obsessed with Stefan. And it's funny to me how people who have done bad things too, because Gabby, her closet ain't clean either.
Oh yeah. No.
But when it's done to them, it's like, I just can't believe you would do that to me. It's like,
the hypocrisy
to other people.
the hypocrisy of the people that do bad things is high. Because it's how dare you do that to me? And it's like, well, a year ago you just did the same thing to someone else. So, but it's in that kind of character mindset that I can do it to them, but they can't do it to me. You're an asshole for doing it to me, even though I was justified in me doing it to you. That's a villain mentality.
And then I just feel like Stefan is just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, but doesn't want to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
That's actually been bugging me. I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like they're writing him a little too lax about it. I feel. I understand the position of this is who I am now as a person, and I'm happy. I'm happy with Chloe. I'm working at Demira. Like, think my life is good, so I don't want to go back there, or I don't want to uncover these memories. But he's too lax about it for me. I feel like there should be more of. I honestly feel like Chloe, to me, is the most interesting person in this scenario because you're seeing the wheels turn for her when it comes to Stefan and with Brady. She's conflicted, but she also didn't go back to Brady. She's like, hold up, like, I understand you were doing something noble, but I went through all of the scheme and the plan. I went through all of that, and now I'm with Stefan, and she's actually she's not moving forward with her relationship. It's like they're both on pause kind of. And I feel like Stefan should have that reaction too, where he's not necessarily dumping Chloe, but he shouldn't be not that he's running back to Gabby, but he should be a little bit more concerned about his life before and the fact that his life was taken from him. He's a little too lax for me about it.
I don't think he's lax. I think he's taking stock. And I think you saw at the end of Friday's episode, the wheels are now turning now. I think part of him knew that he didn't have all of the information at hand. So now he does. Now he's got every piece of the puzzle. It's all out there. He's got all that information. And now you see the wheels are turning. He's like, okay, now I am going to start calculating my next move.
No, I'm talking about since he found out, since Gabby rushed into the hotel room, that was 2 weeks ago.
He needed to verify that. He needed to, he said he didn't believe her. He needed to verify that. In reality, maybe like a few days have passed in all of this, the last like 3 weeks. It's been a few days in Salem time. So I think we should give him a break of like, I don't think he's lax. I think he's just taking in the information because he is not somebody who's going to let it go. He is very calculating. He is very much Stefano's son. But that is what's going to make him a great foil to EJ is that he's going to, he knows how to bide his time.
My problem is I don't care about you, Gabby. I don't want to be with you. Not, hold up, let me figure this out. Let's work to find Rob. That should be his position. His position is now, I want Chloe. I don't care about my past with you. I want nothing to do. That's what I'm saying, where he's not opening himself up to exploring that other side. And now that he actually knows that Gabby has been fighting for him, essentially he knows that as a truth now. That's what I'm saying. It's too one-sided for me.
To be fair, Gabby was being Gabby this week. So he kind of, so new Stefan, with, actual morals and stuff, had a right to be pissed.
I mean, he can be mad, but just be mad at the right people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible what they did, but, we now have these couples out of it. So let me ask this just to see where we are. And I know me asking this, I'm probably going to ask again, but just where we are. Who would you rather see with Gabby, Stefan or Lee?
Out of those two, Stefan.
Okay. So you're for Gabby and Stefan.
I don't know about that, but
out of Stefan, who would you rather see him with? Chloe or Gabby?
Gabby.
Chloe right now.
I mean, I'm kind of digging Stefan and Chloe too.
Yeah.
But Chloe, I will say I agree with Justin that Chloe is the one that is really just, man, she's taking the brunt of all of this. Wash your hands of this whole situation, girl. Just walk away.
But the thing about it is, this situation isn't something that it was facilitated for them, not by either one of them.
Exactly. Yes.
But there are true feelings between them.
True, but she's in a no-win scenario, not through any fault of her own.
Yeah.
But she's in a no-win scenario. If she tries to make her relationship with Stefan work, she's going to be dealing with Gabby forever and ever and ever and ever. If she tries to make her relationship with Brittany and work, she's going to be dealing with Kristen and Rachel forever and ever and ever. She's in a no-win situation. Wash your hands of it, girl. You deserve better.
She can find a man.
Yes, she's gorgeous. She has a beautiful voice. She has a good business acumen.
She's a catch. Chloe is a catch.
She
can have any man she wants.
Yeah, wash your hands of all of these complications and go find yourself a man who is going to appreciate you, who doesn't have a crazy ex.
Rafe.
Yeah, but Rafe attracts crazy people.
He does.
Yeah, let's do that poll. Who do you want Rafe with?
Oh,
I would love to see the answers to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the unemployment office.
Look, there comes a point. Look, there comes a point when the universe is literally screaming at you, girl, you got to be single right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go
and you got to listen.
Don't deal with this mess. Go live your life. Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. Well, I think that's
we've exhausted that one.
We beat that horse to death. Yes.
Exhausting week.
Like, are we still talking about this? Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think that's
there's a lot to unload in that one, though. There's a lot to unload with that.
Yeah. There's a lot happening. I feel like we're all Stefan, and we're just trying to figure out things.
Gathering
and we're
the
taking
data.
stock things.
We're gathering the data so we can make a data-driven decision.
Yeah.
Is what he's doing.
Exactly. We're just waiting for all of a sudden for all of the memories to start flooding back, and he's like, I do love Gabby.
When his memories come back, he's not good. This is a typical soap thing. He's going to get his memories back, and he's not going to tell anybody. Right?
Typical.
If he gets his memory back, depending on how the story goes, if he gets his memory back and he has something to gain by keeping his amnesia-ish, whatever you want to call it, his brainwashed whatever, if he will keep it to himself, just as Sammy did.
But I don't think there's any secret there. There's no secrets there. He's not benefiting from not having his memory.
Well, not yet, but we don't know. I'm saying if we see how the storyline goes, and when he gets his memories back, if the way the storyline played out, he does have something to gain. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? We shall see how it all turns out.
We shall see, yeah.
Well, that was your week of days. We are now going into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Before we do that, how about we do the tidbits? We missed.
Totally skipped tidbits.
I was like, wait.
I felt like, y'all, I'm so sorry. I felt like we were talking about the week for so long. I thought we covered everything. And I was like, okay, now we're done. All right.
No, we were still on Kristen. We were still on the or Gabby being Gabby is what we were on.
My bad. Oh, so here's a reminder, everybody. While my brain is on, make sure you go follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on the Twitter. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. If you're listening to us on a podcast, that is great. But head on over to our YouTube. And on our YouTube channel, we have so many past episodes, interviews from past Day of Days, Emmys, other shows where we've had many of your guests, your favorites from days past and present on the show. So make sure you go check that out on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure you listen to us on your podcast in case you can't watch us. And then also buy our merch, dishindays.threadless.com. All right. Now we're going to get into tidbits because it's been a few weeks and I forgot how to do our show. Let's go to the Johnson family. Stephanie, Trip, Joey, Chad. Okay. Okay.
God.
I did a poll because they kind of talked about it this week. I did a poll as to who was at fault in PhoneGate. A lot of people fault Alex for touching Stephanie's property and turning the phone off.
Regardless of the fact that he didn't know what was going on, he was still that's a violation no matter what.
But let me ask you this. If Chad was just calling to say, I need that report at 9 a.m. tomorrow, would it have made a difference?
No.
We would still be as upset as we are right now of Alex taking the phone and turning it off.
Yep.
If it were something more trivial.
Oh,
yep.
No, I wouldn't be as upset.
I would be, yes, I would still be upset. Would I potentially get over it eventually? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, it was still wrong. He should have done it.
That's a difference between me like sitting you down and being like, listen, don't touch my stuff. We need to have a talk about trust. And like that to me is like, on a scale of 1 to 10, Chad calling about a 4 or something is like a 1. You preventing me from saying goodbye to my dead parent is like a 20. Like,
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Brian.
No.
It's interesting because like I feel like hasn't this happened on days before where somebody just turned off somebody else's phone?
I'm sure it's happened in the last.
And I think where I straddle the fence is I get why he did it.
Yeah.
He wanted to have a solid moment with Stephanie, right? Is it right? No. Like I feel like he should have said something like Chad's calling or like your phone's ringing, something to have her decide, well, let me just turn this off so that we can concentrate on him, or him make the suggestion to her, can we just not have any distractions? You know what I mean?
That would have been better.
So I don't know. And I even put myself in that position of like, okay, if Kayla didn't die and it was just Chad saying, hey, I'm on the side of the road with a flat tire, like would the impact of it have been any different? I don't know. It's hard to say because everyone's like, that's her private property and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, but what if it was like a couple that like, like a I don't know.
No.
Bottom line, it should have been her decision whether to take the call or not Alex's. Regardless of.
Because
if I don't let my 15-year-old niece, who I trust, let me back that. I was going to try to say trust implicitly, but she's 15, 16. I don't trust teenagers. Let me put it this way: if I don't let my mother look at my phone, touch my phone without my consent. And this is a woman who birthed me and loved me and is like, I trust with like my deepest, darkest secret. If I don't let her touch my phone, police my phone, you really think I'm going to let any guy do that?
So now I think I understand it more. I think, yes, be upset at the fact that someone touched your property and turned off your phone without permission. The missed call of what? Stephanie should have had I mean, so it's like don't touch someone else's property, but also I could forgive you if I missed Chad's call that just said I need this form versus I missed Chad's call because my mother was dying, and I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. So I get it. But I just I don't know. For some reason, I hate PhoneGate because look, I like Alex and Stephanie together. Only I just feel like this triangle has been started that I feel like it's too soon for Chad to be a part of.
He's not, though. And that's the point.
No,
he's involved.
You can't sit, Araceli, you can't sit here and say that there are some feelings fumbling for each other that they're trying to mask as no, we're just friends, and that Alex should not feel some kind of way about it at all.
He can feel whatever he damn well wants to feel. He just has no right to
We're
touch
not talking about the
someone
phone. No, we're not talking about the phone. We're talking about feelings.
But those feelings are innocent. The actions he takes in response to those feelings
Them feelings
are
ain't
not.
innocent. Them feelings ain't innocent.
Let me say.
Yeah,
I think
of
Alex is
Tony's
dead
side
wrong about
that.
touching the phone in whatever capacity, whether it's Chad calling about a form or Chad calling about Kayla. He's wrong, but he's 100% right about Chad. He is 100% right about everything he said about Chad. That is just
that's the point.
Right about it. That doesn't have anything to do with the phone thing.
Nothing.
That doesn't negate the fact that he's right about Chad.
So then what he can do is express that to Stephanie.
Do with the phone thing. I'm talking.
I'm not talking about the phone thing. I'm saying what he can do, what Alex can do then is do what he did and express those concerns to Stephanie and say, this makes me uncomfortable. Don't make it yes, exactly. And but then leave it there.
No, because
leave it there.
No, it was brought up. It was brought up, and she's like, "Oh no, you know the kids," and now.
So then let the other person be the bad guy. Let the other person, if you feel like you're getting in a triangle and this person has feelings for the other person, then let that person be the bad guy. Let that person be the cheater.
Wait, okay, sorry, we're getting off here. I'm trying to keep this straight. We're not talking about the phone. Araceli, you're talking about the fact that Alex confronted Chad. That's what you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you think that was wrong for him to do?
Because he tried to do it behind Stephanie's back. That's the thing. What he should have done is Alex going to Stephanie saying, I think this, and this makes me uncomfortable. That's a fair conversation. That's a good conversation to have, if anything. I applaud that. What you don't do is go to the other person and say, hey, I think you're using your kids in this situation or keep going. That's the thing. He should have just kept it between him and Stephanie. If she was going to turn this into a triangle, let her be the bad guy then. Then all that responsibility of being you're the good person in the relationship.
My mama said Chad wants her, but he's pretending he's not ready.
Mm-hmm.
And which
at the end of the day, the tee-hee-hee of it all, the gag of the nation of the nation of the gag of the nation of the nation of the gag is Chad likes Stephanie. Stephanie likes Chad. Alex had every reason to feel the way that he felt because neither one of them were being honest about their true feelings, no matter how small.
Mm-hmm. But feelings are not actions. The end.
I actually thought his conversation with Chad was pretty respectful. And it was pretty like man to man of like, hey, this is what's. I didn't think it was like jealous boyfriend coming to like stop him. I thought it was pretty. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was like, oh, a character's being honest and being proactive and saying like. I also thought it was coming from a place of Alex has gotten roped into this too, where Chad shows up in like the New Year's stuff, where it's like, okay, Stephanie comes to him and he's like, Chad, Chad's going through a lot. It's like, okay, let's invite him to hang out with us. And it's, I don't know. I felt like because of that, he has a right to say something to Chad.
Well, because everything is real suspicious. Like you took the day off to go hang with the kids and and Chad, him y'all ice skating, he rubbing your ankle. And that was the thing that made him go, well, I'm gonna turn the phone off because you over here rubbing ankles. So you probably trying to get up in this again.
Then let her be the bad guy. Let her be the bad guy and continue to have that conversation. Like, I don't feel respected in this relationship. I don't feel that, you're putting in the time into our relationship that you're putting in with him. That's a fair conversation.
Yeah.
Don't touch my stuff.
Alex was up front. Like the way, like even wait, because didn't we get into a fussment last year about Alex and Stephanie?
Yes. It was the threesome episode that everyone thought we were going to go crazy about the threesome.
No, but we were talking about Alex and Stephanie.
That's what I'm saying. They thought the big talk was going to be the threesome, but the talk was Alex, Stephanie,
and she's been so resistant with him since day one. And I think Alex truly is interested in Stephanie. But now Stephanie, and I get what you're saying, Araceli, let Stephanie be the bad guy, right? But Stephanie needs to sort out her feelings. Because I think the only reason why she's with Alex is because she overheard Chad say, no, I'm not, it's too soon, I'm not into it. Didn't that conversation happen? Mm-hmm. So but there's still some.
Then take the hint, Alex. If she
ain't no hint.
No, you're right. Ain't no hint. These are big flashing neon lights. Alex, she didn't want to be with you in the first place.
But now she do.
But she keeps spending time with somebody else.
Michael Mattis.
She wants just big neon lights. She just ain't that into you.
Michael Mattis, what say you?
I'm saying it's 422. That's what I'm saying.
Can we just all say Araceli's right and move on?
Oh, you were about to make me do something in front of my mama that I shouldn't. I don't care about it being 422. Michael Mattis, what say you?
What say me? I don't know. This whole storyline's a mess. I keep going back and forth about, it's just messy. And I'm like, whoever with this storyline, I'm like, it's going to end up how it's going to end up. I'm just watching it. That's why I've been so quiet, because I'm like, I don't have a strong opinion either way, except that Alex was wrong about the phone, which has been well established.
It's interesting. To be determined. Oh yeah, we are into a bit of time. Great to see Joey and Trip. Love the haircut, Tanner. Okay, Leo. Leo. I don't know why I have a soft spot for these people, but I felt bad.
No. For this one I have strong opinions about.
At 423, we all of a sudden got opinions.
Well, now we've moved on, so now I'm in it. So I hated the fact that Will overheard that and was able to bust Leo, because Will, of all three of them, Sonny is the innocent one. Sonny has barely ever done a cross thing in his life.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm taking it all in.
I'm getting to my point.
Yeah.
But the fact that Will was so anxious and so excited to bust Leo, and I'm like, you're the man that played around on your husband not once but twice. And yes, Leo is not the most scrupulous person, but the fact that he was basically, someone mentioned that Alex was marking his territory was trying to mark his territory with Stephanie. That is what Will is trying to do with Sonny and Leo, because Will is not there. Will chose to be away from his husband. He came back, saw Sonny getting chummy with Leo of all people. And I know that the history and all that, but then Will was just like, nope, that's my man. That's my man. don't do that. And then he got the ammo to bust him. And I was just like, I wish I did feel for Leo. And what he did, I'm not saying what he did was right. I just hated the fact that it was self-righteous Will that was the one to do it.
And I really do think that Leo was trying to make a change. And I think the whole kidnapping, innocent people who were at their lowest ended up doing something that they necessarily didn't want to do, but they had to in a survival mode. You know what I mean? Like Xander did it just because it was going to be quick money, that even though he should have just took the check from Maggie, but that's a whole different thing. But it's like he did it because it was like, no one's going to be harmed. Everything should be fine. This is really quick, whatever. Like, I'll hold them in place and then give them back, right? And then everything went awry. And it's also not his fault that Susan got killed, because even if he wasn't involved, that still probably could have happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even with Leo got roped in. Why? Because there he is struggling at his lowest. And it was like, okay, and he gets roped into it again, not thinking no harm, no foul, and like boom. But now all these people who really didn't have that big of a stake in it, except Xander getting caught, but in the beginning had no stake in it. There was no vendetta, no getting after. They were just roped into the plan. Are now roped in so deep that it's now destroying their relationships and their stuff. And so in that sense, I felt bad for Leo, because Leo genuinely liked the direction that him and Sonny were going in.
I liked the direction they were like. I was kind of feeling, as much as Leo gets on my nerves sometimes, and even this week when he and Sloan were talking, and he was like, "Oh, I'm such a Joaquin Phoenix." I was like, "Girl, no." So even after those moments where he kind of annoys me, I wanted to see something develop between. And I'll say it, I wanted them to, I wanted Sonny.
You wanted them to get down with the get down,
exactly, and have it be like, and not like last time, because last time they got down to, however you put it, Tony, got down.
Get down with the get down.
They banged. It was
bang
because
bang.
It was because Leo was conning Sonny. This time it would be like Sonny's angst because his husband, isn't there, and they've developed this friendship, and maybe they have a couple drinks, and
so you wanted, instead of bang bang into the room, you wanted them to be, tonight I celebrate my love.
Somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. Not so tender, but also not just, not a Sloan Alex thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my hope, and maybe it can still happen. You never know. Like, just because Will's gonna leave again. We know Will's gonna leave again.
Mm-hmm. As soon as Wilhelmina dropped that ball, he's gonna get that phone call and be like, "Goodbye." Oh, Love Shack. That's a good one. That's a good one, John. Thank you. You wanted the Love Shack.
Yeah.
Love Shack, baby.
For me, I feel bad for Leo. I agree with you guys. In that sense, I feel bad for Leo. I think he was trying to do better and everything, but it still doesn't take him much to get roped into something nefarious. Like, all it takes is a suggestion, an ask, and he's there. So he hasn't changed that much. Also, I have no problem with the fact that Will was the one who busted him. I mean, Will is Sonny's husband. Like, he's not. This isn't even.
So what? Like, he was just aching. It was more. Also, whatever. Will, go back to LA.
The stuff with also Leo likes to poke Will. Like, when Will came back, he came in hot with like, what is, and again, he has a right to wonder why this this man who he thought they hated is now living with his husband.
Well, maybe if he paid attention to what was going on with his husband, he would know, and he wouldn't have been so surprised.
Well, I was more the bad guy in this. I don't get it. Like,
I just think that in conclusion, Leo was trying, and Wilhelmina got what he needed in order to split Leo and Sonny up. And now he feels like he can live his life without a Leo distraction.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Leo because there genuinely was a friendship between him and Sonny. And I think that's what Leo needed. And that's what Sonny needed. And now it's like Sonny's just going to be sitting there playing video games with a sulking Alex. And don't nobody want that. Unless Alex got his shirt off.
Well, I think what has turned the tide in this, and this will lead into our next conversation, which is that Leo and Gwen, it's been a little less than a year since the wedding from hell / best wedding ever, depending on how you look at it, because it was freaking hilarious. It was glorious. And in that time, Leo and Gwen seem to have learned the lesson that when you love someone, you want what's best for them. You want them in your life in any way you can have them, and you want what's best for them. As Leo said, that when he realized, oh my God, I'm totally crushing on him again. But still, then countered with, oh, but he doesn't see me that way. I want him to be happy. Okay, so he's learned the lesson. Gwen, also, she's like literally bending over backwards to help her ex and has had plenty of opportunity to cash in her chips on that. And she's not.
Because Xander don't like her like that.
And she knows that.
Does she?
Yes, and that's what separates a Leo and a Gwen from a Kristen and a Lee. Because a Kristen and a Lee are just so obsessed. They don't care. They are just like tunnel vision. No, I'm going to make this person love me. Leo and a Gwen, they're like, this person doesn't love me like that, but I still want the best for them.
Well, it also took them time to get there.
Yeah, but...
Well, speaking of Gwen...
They got there.
Got caught looking like they had did it with Xander. You know what? Let me tell you this. I have to give it to Bonnie for just being like, hate to say this to y'all, but I actually think you should give Xander another chance because Sarah's too hot-headed. And it's just like, nope. And it's like, was there any love there at all? Like sometimes relationships, you got to work for it. He actually did that to provide for you. So
his intentions, he's one, like I said earlier, we can look at the intentions and kind of be like, we can give him a pass. And what he lied about a job. Well, wait, sorry. I forgot about the whole kidnapping thing. Kidnapping thing. Forgot about that part. Wait, I went back and overstepped something. But I don't know. I'm still somehow on Xander's side-ish. And I'm glad that Bonnie was like the voice of reason. Because, Sarah just being like, I want a divorce. I want to be done. And it's like, you work so hard to get together. Maybe give it a beat. Separate for a minute.
Yeah.
And
come back to it.
Yeah. But, and then assess.
But she was just like, And then when she saw Gwen and Xander, it was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, ask questions before you start running off. Like, this man, do you not see the alcohol bottles? This man is drunk.
There's no way they're doing anything.
I'm like, does he look like he is capable of much movement here?
Not at all. But then again, Xander can just...
That's never stopped. That's never stopped a lot of people, okay?
Shout out to Paul Telford. How you doing? All right. Now that's the...
Was that our week of days?
I said like alcohol would stop any of us from...
And Bonnie can go to McDonald's again.
Yeah.
Yay! Go get a McFlurry.
The machine's down. And that has been your week of days. And now we get to our favorite part of the show because, as Michael Mattis pointed out at 4:22, it is now 4:34. So now we're going to start with our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
All right, so listen. As I mentioned earlier, she has had it. She is tired of the stunt shows and shenanigans. She just simply wants her ice cream, her hot chocolate, and the trip that she's being promised.
Same.
My 3 snaps goes to Rachel Black, played by Finley Rose Slater, who literally has had, when she said, I don't want to be a grown up. I said, girl, same. I was like, girl, listen, I get it. You around here looking at your parents like, I'm tired of this. It's like, listen, you know what? Y'all can have it. I'll be in my room. So for completely being over the stunt shows and shenanigans of Kristen and Brady, Rachel, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
All right. And now it's time for
Caption That.
All right, this week's Caption That comes courtesy of Gabby in the unwanted ice bath that he took in Horton Town Square. And this week's caption comes courtesy of Manny B on Instagram with his caption, "Let's make the ice bucket challenge go viral again." LOL.
LOL. And that was
Caption That.
And now it's time for
Those were the days.
This week, I'm taking you back to January 16th, 1995, where Sammy shot, and not only shot, but castrated Alan, her rapist. The reason why I picked this one, and there were so many actually good ones this week. I was sort of on the fence about what I was going to pick, but I picked this one just because a lot of people like to use her witnessing the John and Marlena thing as like a changing factor. And yeah, it was, but to me, this was the defining moment that changed Sammy from the character who she was into who she became, someone who really like took life in her own hands and stood up for herself and did something about it. So once I saw
after being raped, like the trauma, yeah.
And this was really her like becoming strong and like really taking a stand for herself and sort of giving Alan payback. And not only that, but it's also Alison Sweeney's 30th anniversary on the show.
Oh,
so big congrats to that. So yeah, that's
30 years. Wow.
That one. So yeah, January 16, 1995, where Sammy castrated Alan, her rapist.
And
those were the days.
And now it's time for
It's a Gift.
And this week's It's a Gift also goes to the person who had the line of the week, Miss Rachel Black. As Tony said, same girl, same, stay that way. And I'll go one further.
Be a Toys R Us kid.
And I'll go one further and saying, Rachel, we don't want you to be a grown-up either. Because we're good.
Yeah, we're good with you staying.
We're scared.
Don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
No.
So she don't want to be a grown-up. We don't want her to be a grown-up. It's all good.
Adulting is ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
Same, yeah.
And that was
the worst. Whoops. There we go.
It's a Gift.
And now news and gossip.
We got it. We got it.
Forgot about that. Starting off.
Oh, here we go.
We love a good sound effect on this show, don't we?
Starting off, we have some behind-the-scenes photos / videos that have kind of come up over the past couple of weeks that we wanted to highlight. First one, Kristin posted a photo of her, Peter Reckle, and Steve Burton. We just wanted to include this. I know before the vacation, we brought to you a video of Peter Reckle with Mary Beth and Stephen Nichols and how it was just fun and they were sort of rejoicing in him being back. And this one popped up and I thought, oh, it's really cute. Sort of hope in between her two possible loves. We'll see when we see them in the future. Second, we had a YouTube video on the Days of Our Lives YouTube page of the 3 villainesses. We have Kristen, Kristen, Gwen, and Megan here, and all three women sort of sitting down and talking about being villainesses on the show, and they sort of quizzed each other. It's a really fun, cute video. And if you're not as familiar with Megan Hathaway Demira, go check it out. You'll get a little bit more info and some backstory to her if you're not as familiar. But yeah, hoping to see all three of these women possibly do something together. We'll see. Fingers crossed on the show. And last but not least, we got this adorable photo that Lamone Archie posted of him with the child that plays his son Carver here, of them on set while they were shooting their scenes. And he also revealed a little behind the scenes info is that the producers actually let him and the baby sleep, and they actually shot around them. So the horn ornament hanging scene is being shot out of frame of them. And so that's why you didn't see them in the frame. They were actually off, sitting in that chair, actually sleeping. And they just looked so peaceful that they actually just let them sleep throughout the scenes, and they shot around them and changed the blocking. So yeah, I guess Lamone woke up at some point and it was like they were done with the scene. So I thought that was kind of cute and cute behind the scenes story.
You'll have that moment where you fall asleep and then you just wake up and you're like, huh.
Yeah, what happened? Where are we? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. So cute. Yeah.
Look, set days are long and children are very cuddly.
Yes.
It's like that.
And I really did. I liked the video, the three villainesses. I thought that was very cool. Peacock, if you need help with figuring out more videos, call us. We're available.
Call Tony. I got a job.
Next.
Oh my God. Okay. Next up, we have, there she is, Miss Billy Reed herself, Lisa Rinna. She is actually ending her 8-year run on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. If you have been watching the last season, especially the reunion, you can kind of see the writing on the walls that, you know, they're due for a kind of a shakeup, and she felt it was her time to end on the show. So maybe this would be, since, you know, Bo and Hope are coming back, we could possibly get a day's return of Miss Billy Reed. We were lucky enough to have her for Beyond Salem, so we shall see.
Next up, and for those of you who are wondering what would ever happen if Sammy Brady and Nikki Alamane got together, you have been taking advantage of the Wedding Veil movie. That was a huge hit for Alison Sweeney on Hallmark. It's her, Lacey Chabert and Autumn Reeser starred it. It did amazingly well, and now they've decided to do a sort of trilogy of movies with them. And so this next one coming up, it actually premiered last night. It's going to rerun again tonight and again through the week. Reruns, of course, will be on Peacock and Hallmark. But yes, Alison Sweeney starring in it with Victor Webster, of course, who played Nikki Alamane in the 90s, who's Carly's son, Melanie's brother, and John's nephew, former lover of Kate. But yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, I just thought this was cute to see old sort of co-stars come together in these movies. And we've gotten a few of them over the years. But yeah, this is a cute one with Sammy and Victor.
All right, next up, congratulations to the Days writing team headed by Ron Carlivati on their WGA nomination for Best Daytime Drama. It is the only daytime drama that got the nomination. So 3 scripts were submitted, and we have the Leo and Craig and Gwen and Xander wedding leading the pack. And as I said earlier, my love for that week knows no bounds. So that was incredible. It got the nomination, was definitely warranted. So congratulations.
Yeah. Next up, we have our events from Starstruck Fan Events. The closest one is next week, January 27th through 29th, with Judy Evans, Vincent Irizarry, Brian Totillo, Kevin Spiritus, Patricia Darbo, Cassie DePaiva, Jordi Villasuso. And that one's taking place in Orlando again next week, 27th through 29th. And then we have the one in April 15th through 16th. We have Billy Flynn, Eric Martzov, Zach Tinker, Greg Rickard, Dan Fiergo, Carson Boatman, Teo Panglis, and lovely Leanne Hunley, hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore. So yes, please go get tickets. Tickets and information you can find on StarStruckFanEvents.com.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. No, you're gonna say them? Okay, no. Okay, all right. So, and then lastly, we have information on the Day Players Band. We have had a chance to see them. They're fabulous. They have upcoming tour dates. They will be in Sacramento, February 18th, Tacoma, Washington, February 19th, Royal Oak,
Michigan,
thank you. April 22nd, Batavia, Illinois, April 23rd, and they're heading to Canada. If you any Canadians, they'll be in Montreal, Quebec, May 6th. So please go to their website to get those tickets for their upcoming tour dates. Go support. They're hopping around, and it is a great show. It's a great time.
And one more thing that we are going to announce before we head out is our 8th anniversary will be on February 8th, 2023. And for the very first time, we will be having a happy anniversary cocktail party with you all via Zoom. So more information and tickets. We will let you know all the information on our social media.
News and
make sure you check social media. It will be on February 8th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all details will be posted soon. So make sure you check that out and come in. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a chance for you to interact with us.
And it doesn't have to be days chat the entire time.
No.
It can be, but you can ask us.
You can ask us about anything. You can ask us about us. You can ask us about Dishin Days. You can ask us about days. Just make sure you bring a cocktail or a mocktail, and let's celebrate 8 years of Dishin Days. So mark your calendars for February 8th. Information will be posted this week.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been
awesome.
Okay, fine.
News and gossip.
Yes. All right, you guys. It is now. Oh, first of all, shout out to Mike from Hollywood, who dropped in. I think that's a super chat and gave us 15 doll hairs. We appreciate you for that.
Thank you,
we will use that money to buy Michael Mattis a green screen chair flapper thingy, so that way he does not look like
so
he's
that I
being
fully
sunk.
show up and I'm not a ghost like this.
Virtual, yeah.
Exactly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time where we show you what's happening this week on Peacock's exclusive Days of Our Lives.
What are we going to do about this lingering attraction?
Can you ever really knock your former love out of your system?
Chanel was just comforting me.
With her lips?
Are you still attracted to my brother? Well, what about you and Alex? You want to tell me that you're not attracted to him?
Make love to me right now.
Or let go of your former life?
I know you're going to be up there, Doc. You'll be looking out for all of us.
Days of Our Lives, streaming now on Peacock.
Ooh. Did anybody else find that last scene shady? Like she was about to walk through the pearly gates and
nope. Like, nope.
We don't know what's going to happen.
You've been possessed too many times.
This is interesting. Little Johnny and Chanel, Alex and Allie kind of stuff happening. All right. Well, we're going to find out this week. And guess what? We'll be back next week to give you a full dish. But before we head out, Michael Mattis, let the kind folks know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Araceli Aviles. I said that wrong again.
Yeah, no, you said it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Tia323Araceli.
And of course, you guys can find little old me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And you can find all of us on our social media platform for Dishin Days. We are Dishin Days Show, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. So make sure you like us, follow us, and tell a friend. In the meantime, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us on our very first show in 2023. We hope that you guys have liked the changes that we've made. We are always trying to improve our show. So if you have any suggestions, let us know. I think that's the scariest thing I've ever
I was going to say, Tony. that door.
Until then, everyone, have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Be safe, and we'll be back next week for another full dish of Dishin Days. Bye, everybody.
Bye.